Christiania and Leander.
So
When I see
you
that
can
you
hear
are
the
both
voice of
straight
Boris
and
Renkov
ready,
just
I
really
will start you like this.
giving them an indication
Attention.
of how they can be expected
Go.
to start.
Get
And
ready, please.
we see two crews here, two fantastic crews. The British double scull from Leander Club of Nick Middleton and Jack Beaumont. They're with the pink blades right in front of the camera.
Attention.
And to their right, the Norwegians from J.R.A.
Go.
So, both crews have a clean start, and we're looking and riding with the two Norwegians there. That's Lorentzen Christopher Lorentzen in the bow of the Norwegians, and J.R.A. Vinje closest to you. He's the stroke of the double. And once again, John, we see the Leander double. Well, there's Jack Beaumont, looking really strong, aren't they?
Very strong, well together. They've been together for a little longer than the Norwegian double. And I think we're already seeing the benefit of that off the start. Very important to be coordinated as you take off, particularly when there's only two of you in the boat. Must be moving together.
And the Norwegians, well, they tried to get into the Norwegian Olympic team. There is a Norwegian double in the Olympics, which is got the great Olaf Tufte in, the double Olympic singles champion. He's gone into the Norwegian double with Kjetil Borch. These two men couldn't get into the Norwegian quad. That didn't qualify for the Olympics, but the British double, well, I think Jack Beaumont, who we're looking at there, probably will be the men's spare, sculling spare for the Olympic team, Johnny.
Okay, so it's a very high standard in this race today, and I think we're already seeing how high the standard of the British crew is here. I was going to say I thought the Norwegians would have to do something to maintain contact. I think they put a big push in actually after about a minute to try and keep in the race, but right now it's looking like a long way for them.
So we're only probably something like a minute and a half into this race, and already the Leander double, in effect it's the British B double. Collins and Walton are the selected double for the Rio Olympics and had a fantastic result in the Poznan World Cup just a couple of weeks ago. Jack Beaumont, who you can see stroking the double, he was there racing in a single. There was some thought of him challenging Alan Campbell for the singles slot in Rio, but Jack didn't quite make the final. But he's had some great results in World Cups with Nick Middleton and been in the final of World Cups, and what a talented young combination this is.
Well, they're really putting a marker down here, aren't they? I'm not sure whether they've gone out to go for a 500 or 1,000 to just lay it down as hard as they can to put a marker to see what kind of speed they can generate. But if this is their normal race pace, this is very impressive speed.
So the Norwegian crew there on the right of your picture from the famous Norwegian club J.R.A. World Club in Norway, and there are the two men. We're looking at the stroke there. J.R.A. Vinje, been rowing for 8 years, and he is a student at the University of Oslo, and he is really chuffed to be here, as is Christopher Lorentzen, the bowman. But as we see the Leander double now, John, they're just easing out, aren't they, a little bit?
They are. I think they've dropped the rate down a little now, a little more efficiency in terms of how they row. They'll row slightly longer strokes, drop the rate down, let the boat move in between the strokes, will move a little bit further than it might normally. Just try to maintain energy.
So we're looking at Jack Beaumont there, and this is a fantastic season. Whatever happens for Jack Beaumont, win or lose here, whether he or not he's a spare in the Olympics, because last year, and he's just having a look at the steering, you can see, can't you, that the boat is drifting across to the boom. So Jack's just checking there, and he and Nick will straighten up the boat. But last year, Jack Beaumont was involved in an horrific injury in a collision with the British 8 on training camp in Aviz in Portugal.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think all of us rowers occasionally are in a collision, but when these things do happen, it's quite frightening and can result in really serious injury. You imagine that the coming together of the momentum of an 8 and a double. An 8's probably weighing a ton as it comes through the water, and really that impact into Jack's back. So end up with broken bones and missed the end of last season for that.
Yeah, he was taken home on a special plane. There were real doubts initially about whether he could ever row again. He was in that boat with Angus Groom. Of course, Angus has been successfully got into the British quad for the Rio Olympics, but it's sort of miraculous, really, to see Jack when he came back on the water in the Varese World Cup, and to see him here in such great form with Nick Middleton in the bow seat. Jack says he feels under a bit of pressure because Nick's never lost at Henley.
Okay.
And
right now he doesn't look under too much pressure, but I suspect later in the week they're going to face some tougher racing than they seem to have faced today.
yes, the Double Sculls Challenge Cup. There you see the Norwegians from J.R.A. Row Club. But the Double Sculls Challenge Cup has got strong crews in this year. I would have said that the British are probably marginally favourites to take this event on Sunday. And they will join an illustrious line of winners who have won medals in World Championships and indeed Olympics in this event. Collins and Walton, who will be in Rio, of course, won it last year. The amazing French double of Delaire and Azou, they won it the year before, of course, world champions in lightweights in 2015. And then we've got a whole list of fantastic international winners. And these guys, well, if they can keep this form up, the Leander double will join them.
They're looking really good now. I think we just saw them put in a little burst there, like they're trying some things out, but really a bit more than a training paddle for them right now. But they'll be looking to try out to make sure they're practiced at that race pace. So we may see them put in 10 strokes or 15 as they come towards the finish.
Early doors here at Henley, so the crowd's yet to arrive. I guess that Jack Beaumont's dad, Pete, who won the Grand here famously from the Australians, I think by a foot in 1988, and then went on to compete in the Seoul Olympics. I guess Pete Beaumont's here watching.
Yeah, I would imagine he'd be here now. I think as we know, Martin, we start to see some of our contemporaries, their children coming through and rowing in the regatta. It's interesting to look at the surnames and see who you might recognise from national teams from the past.
And I know one thing, I know you've been out in the single recently, Johnny, and you were saying how important it was for you to keep your shoulders loose and what sort of extra speed that was giving you at the front end.
Yeah, I think when the water's bumpy, and it can be very bumpy here, we get the launches up and down. Very important, just keep the shoulders loose. That allows the legs and back to connect. Low down in the body, making sure you apply the power to move the boat past the oar. So, if you're watching us on YouTube, you're seeing a very, very comfortable victory for an outstanding Leander Club double. Jack Beaumont on the left of your picture, that's the back of Nick Middleton, unbeaten at Henley, won I think 5 times. Beaumont's got 4 Henley medals to his name. The young lad from Sir William Borlase School. They crossed the line. They really had the race done and dusted in the first minute. Here are the Norwegian double from J.R.A. Row Club racing, as you can see, flat out, coming to the finish.
Absolutely. They want to do their thing. They want to know they gave it absolutely the best they could to get from the start to the finish as quick as possible. They'll have to black out that there was another crew there, but they've given it their all today.
So we'll get confirmation of that result very shortly. And there we see that Nick Middleton and Jack Beaumont have beaten the Norwegians comfortably.